Okay, well, this is just your weekly reminder that we post every Wednesday at 5 p.m. on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube for the full visuals. You can go follow us on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook at Nothing But Controversy, on Twitter at NBControversy. Go to nothingbutcontroversy.com/shop to buy our cool-looking merch. Like I said last week, be on the lookout for drop number 2. Go to our Instagram page and click the link in our bio to have like a link tree to all of our links, all of our social media platforms. And let's go to episode 37 right now.
This is Nothing But Controversy. 4 guys on a podcast and we're talking about sports. 4 guys on a podcast and we're talking about sports. Nothing But Controversy with Matt, Dawson, Cam, and Shaner.
What's up, guys?
Hey,
How's it going?
And welcome to episode 37 of the Nothing But Controversy podcast.
thanks for having me.
Hey, it's always a pleasure, Mr. Dawson Spooner. This is our 37th one, man. It's a lot. We've done a lot of these.
Unreal.
Listen, we started this countdown at 199. We are now 16 days away
Holy shit.
from the start of the
Time
NFL
flies.
regular season.
Feels like we were at like 100 last week.
Literally, it does. You're right. Time flies when you're spending with your friends, right?
Hey, that's very true.
That's what they say.
Speaking of good friends.
Yeah. Speaking of good friends, good drinks. I would say good food, but there's no food. Welcome to the first ever Nothing But Controversy Trivia Night. If you've watched our episodes, you see us get very intense during trivia. And if you think you can beat us, if you think you're better at us in trivia, this is your chance to prove it.
Absolutely.
Come on down to the Pines next Thursday. First of all, text one of us, message us, reserve a team. The rules are it's 12 teams of 4. There's already like 6 teams. It's first come, first serve. $15 per person. This includes 1 can of Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Thank you for sponsoring the event,
Let's get
PBR.
fucked up.
Yeah.
And the rest of all the rest of the proceeds go to the Cody Michael Bouchard Fund. For those who don't know, a good buddy of ours passed away 2 years ago, and one of his last wishes was for his family to start a fund in his honor. So being like best friends that we are, we always want to try to find ways to raise money. So having a good time, having some drinks with friends, playing some sports trivia just sounds like a great time. So
Yes,
like
sir.
I said, message one of us on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and reserve your spot now for next Thursday. With that being said, let's have a great episode. Let's go into our schedule here. We're going to start with This Week in Sports, and then for the second week in a row. Wait, is it second or third? I don't know. Second week in a row, we have more controversy.
A banger.
An absolute banger. I'm not going to tell you who it is. All I'm going to say is centered out in front.
Set it up, Brad.
Take a guess. Then we have our question of the week. Then our bold prediction of the week. And then we have trivia hosted by the trivia master, Cam Wilson. Then
When
we
did you
have
get that title?
Then we have top 5. And then we have our lock of the week in terms of betting to end the episode. But let's start off with This Week in Sports. I have 2 things to bring up this week. Okay? The first thing is the Alouettes and their absolutely heartbreaking loss to the Calgary Stampeders. Having a reception down 6 onto the 1-yard line as time expired. Not a lot of worse ways to win the game, to lose a game than being that close. But hey, give credit where credit's due. Calgary played to win. They played it well enough, I guess. The Owls probably had an off day, but
Terrible.
I don't know what you guys really think about that. I was pretty drunk watching it, so I don't really remember
First
a lot.
of all, the Owls had like 16,000 yards of penalties.
I was gonna say.
2 clipping penalties. When was the last time you saw a clipping penalty? They had 2 of them.
Yep.
They had like 3 face masks. VA was off. Like, let's be real.
Bad holding penalties on offense.
Terrible holding penalties. Quan Bray sucked. Dropped everything. VA was overthrowing guys. Like, just was not the day to be an Owls fan. Stampeders didn't play that great. They weren't great. The Owls looked good in the first quarter. After that, tough task this week too, playing Hamilton. So, Hamilton's 0-2, but so was Calgary. We'll see how the Owls bounce back, but the penalties absolutely killed them.
Yeah, all around, it was just a really, as everyone has just said, tough game. Like, just one of those games where no one's really hitting on all cylinders. But as you said, they're playing the Hamilton Tiger Cats, which is a huge opportunity to bounce back and, show to the league that they're going to be serious this year. So I'm excited for this Friday's game.
Yeah, nothing to add. Really, the Owls continue to be one of the only teams that are putting on entertaining games. Like, we're critical fans, obviously we know the game well, but if you're watching it as a neutral person, just a fan of football, it was an entertaining game. A lot of scoring, which hasn't happened a lot early in the season. But like you guys said, I don't really have much to add, but VA gotta chill out with the deep balls. They pointed out several times on the broadcast, so I don't want to take too much away from them, but like, there's guys open underneath and he's not taking what the defense is giving you. And when you're playing a game that's tight on field position like it was on Saturday or Friday night, you gotta take what the defense gives you, and even if it's just to flip the field, you gotta do that. So I think he'll move on from it. He'll learn from it. The Owls will be good. Let's get a dub on Friday night. Some of the boys might be in attendance, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have one more thing. I mean, I'm gonna say I have 2 more things because I just thought of another one. But second one's a big one. The NCAA starts their football season this week. Like, oh my goodness. Like, I'm not gonna jump into like my predictions and stuff too much because that's kind of foreshadowing to our question of the week. But the thing I gotta say is that, like, I love watching the NCAA because I find that, like, out of all the leagues, like, they get the rules right the most. Does that make sense? Like, I think they play the game the best. Like one big example would be, I think their overtime is 100% the way to play a football overtime. I think the NFL has to change it. Like, has to. Like, the way NCAA does it is so entertaining. It's ridiculous. A game in NCAA goes into overtime, everyone flips it on because they're like, oh my God, there's gonna be scores. There's gonna be like, like, that's just the way to do it.
Don't they do it the same as the CFL? Isn't it very
Yeah. CFL does it the same way, but I don't know. I like 4-down football better than 3-down football, but yeah. There's a little discrepancy in talent because you're always seeing like the same like 5 schools kind of dominate everyone, but like when there's a good college football game, there's not a lot of things that beat watching a good college football game, like. But yeah, I'm excited for that season, man. I mean, I'm a big Bama guy, so I'm always having usually a happy season.
Yeah. I mean, LBS, I don't know. Do you have a favorite college football team?
USC.
I do not, but I used to love USC. I have no idea why. Just I don't. So
Reggie.
Really, I don't. I really don't. But since one of our good friends, also I think a past NBC guest,
fan of the show.
UConn, so
fan of the show.
That's it. Fan of the show as well.
Big friend of the show.
I playing at UConn in University of Connecticut. I think that might be my favorite college team now. It's got to be.
All right. Well, I was gonna say all our teams are ranked top 25 in the preseason. definitely not Liam's favorite team.
That's okay.
But speaking of NCAA, and speaking of UConn, and speaking of the friend of the show, it's looking like UConn's quarterback controversy is winding down, and it's looking like it's gonna be the boy Jack starting at Q week 1 for UConn, which is sweet for Canadian football, sweet for us because he's a good buddy of ours, and sweet for UConn because I think having him like a full year under his belt in that system, or 2 years now, I think good things could come for UConn. But NCAA, nothing to report. I'm excited to start watching some ball.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as Dawson here. Not much to talk about, but the excitement is there. I can't wait for this weekend. I think there's only a couple games this Saturday, but still excited to tune in.
Yeah, I mean it's like the unofficial week one this weekend, but the
Yeah.
real week, I guess the week one for the majority of the teams start next weekend, and there's a couple of big matchups right off the bat, so we're gonna get some action early, very early. So the rankings are gonna get shaken up. We'll see who can recover and who can't. It's gonna be a really good year, I think. A lot of movement, transfer portal this year, some big names, so we'll see what happens.
I'm just excited for all the people that are going to come back. You know, all those people that opted out. There was a lot of talent that opted out last year.
Yeah.
And now they're going to come back. They're going to prove that they were as talented as they were even after a year off. Yeah. And even all there was entire divisions or schools that opted out. So like that's going to be sick to have everyone back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Speaking
pumped.
of UConn.
Yeah. And we got a lot of young quarterbacks coming in too, like Bryce Young at Bama, DJ at Clemson. You know, Justin Fields has gone out of Ohio State too, so they got a young quarterback.
They got a bit of a controversy, yeah.
I love that name, DJ Uiagalelei. Great name. Great name. Couldn't tell you how to pronounce it until someone says it, but yeah. Third thing I'm going to bring up just happened today. That's why I just thought about it. For those who watch soccer, I'm a big Real Madrid guy, and they put in a bid for probably the most valuable player in the world right now, in Kylian Mbappe. They put 160 million euros, which might seem low to some people, but that's 160 million euros that PSG might not even touch if they don't accept it, because Kylian Mbappe has 1 year left on his contract, and apparently he's already declined 3 contracts, so he could literally sign in Real on a free transfer at the end of this year if they don't accept it. And they're saying they're declining it and stuff, but like 160 million euros goes a long way when talking about a guy. I mean, if he was on contract for like 5 years, he'd probably be worth well over 200 million euros. But like, if I'm PSG, I'm taking that offer and I'm running. And I'm saying, okay, we just got Messi to put out with Neymar again. Like, you're getting 160 million euros when if you don't accept it, you're going to get nothing. And he's going to leave anyways. Because he's made it clear that he's always wanted to play for Real Madrid. So I don't know, man. That's huge news in soccer. Like, that's huge.
Maybe this is me just not being the biggest soccer guy. I find it fucked up that you could just buy players. Like here's some money. Come play for me now. Like, I find it weird.
Yeah, but it's like you're paying the club. Like, it's like in the NBA when you make a trade for cash considerations. You know, I know it's not that.
Yeah, but you don't see LeBron getting.
Yeah, I know.
Considerations like.
Yeah, but it's different because there's so many different leagues in soccer where people are going from the French league to the Spanish league. You know, like there's still
trades exist in soccer.
Yes, they do. Like, but they're just called transfers.
Like, can you trade in different leagues? Like, can I trade yeah?
Yeah, you just transfer someone. That's basically it. Like,
there's
like a month. There's like a month in the winter. There's a month in the summer where the
transfer window.
Exactly, that's what it's called. The transfer window, where you can make transfers and stuff. And then when the transfer window's closed, that's it. You gotta work with your squad.
Got it.
Yeah, obviously huge. Yeah. I'm just gonna go real quick. Obviously, huge news, but I think PSG declined that offer for either 2 reasons. Either they think he's worth more, which he very well is, and maybe they actually believe they can keep him around. There's not many players these days who, you know, especially in soccer, will play for one club for a very long time, and you know, Mbappe has that chance to be, you know, one of the greatest soccer players ever, and maybe spend his entire career like a Messi. Obviously, he moved now, but you know.
Yeah, but I'm looking at
crazy name for himself.
I'm looking at this and thinking the same thing that happened to Messi. Like, Barcelona thought they could keep Messi around, and Messi was just hating it. Messi made it clear he wanted out. First of all, he said he wanted out, and
Messi was trying to stay though.
No, but like before.
Oh, okay.
Before, right?
Last year.
Like Messi was trying
to
leave.
Yeah.
And then they were like, they could have transferred him for money. People were giving him offers, especially I'm pretty sure Man City offered more than 100 million euros too. And he ended up walking for free. Like that's a loss, man. PSG signed 6 major names for like 5 were free transfers, and one was like a 60 million euro. Euro transfer. It's crazy.
How many times have we seen in sports, though, a year before a guy's contract ends, he says he wants out, and then when his contract's up, he resigns?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
like,
but
if
it's
there's
also,
he's still
Very
under
valid.
contract, they have a year to convince him to come back.
yeah, it's
For Kawhi.
yes, but it's also different in soccer, especially when Mbappe has made it clear and said it multiple times that his dream club has always been Real Madrid. Like, it's different. Like, you know,
It
like,
doesn't mean he wants to go there now.
if there's a time to go, it's now. Like, he's in his prime.
A lot can change in a year, though. Look
Right,
at Messi. He
exactly.
said he wanted out. Now he's crying to stay at the club, and they can't
Have
keep
you
him
offered
around.
to cut his salary in half?
Yeah, so I think a lot. I don't know shit about soccer really, but a lot can change.
Yeah.
It's an interesting developing story, though.
Absolutely.
Is
You're all done, Maddie?
Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
good. I'm dunsies.
What were you gonna say, Cam?
I was gonna ask if he was from France. I'm kind of happy you guys cut me off because that was a very stupid question.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm well aware. Just
Okay.
didn't think before I asked it.
Again, football's not back. Basketball's dead. Baseball, but slow week for sports. But in what could be his last professional fight ever, Manny Pacquiao lost this past week to, I don't know his name, Ugas or something. Yeah, lost his what probably will be his last professional fight. But when one career dies, another one comes forward. And Saturday, August 28th, the next big name in boxing, Jake Paul, takes on
Sunday?
It's Saturday.
You 100% sure about that?
It's August 28th.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Thought it was Sunday. But okay. Go.
August 28th. Either way, not worthy of cutting me off. Jake Paul takes on Tyron Woodley. Not sure where that one's gonna go. Honestly, Jake Paul's probably gonna fucking win, which drives me fucking crazy. But
No, I'll lose it. I will lose it.
he's just wearing
Me too.
himself
Me
down for
too.
December 25th. That's all I know. He's taking too many fights. He's spreading himself too thin.
Definitely on Sunday.
Shane and I, it's the 28th.
On Sunday. The 29th at 8.
Yeah, this is such a
Anyways.
useless argument. It does not
Anyways,
matter.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
I'm saying, don't try to turn it on.
Thank you.
on Saturday.
Anyways, next, continue, Dawson.
All right. Well, I'm not going to talk about that anymore because Matt ruined it.
Oh, my-
Just came out today. One of my favorite stories of the year. Again, I don't care if you are an anti-vaxxer or don't want to take the vaccine. I don't care if you take the vaccine. I don't care. But don't be an asshole about it either way. Don't fucking yell at someone for not getting the vaccine, and don't say people are crazy for getting the vaccine. And someone who's done that worse than anyone, Cole Beasley, is now out indefinitely for COVID-related reasons. Cole Beasley, him and Gabriel Davis, both guys who were talking a lot of shit about people who got vaccinated and, were very keen on not getting vaccinated, are both out. So
So is
funny
Cam
story
Newton for this.
so is Cam
Yeah.
Newton. And also,
Mhm.
their teammate in Buffalo, Deion Dawkins, just spent 4 days in the hospital with
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
So, scary times out in Buffalo. I think this is going to be, a theme in the NFL this year, like it was last year. But I like the rules they have now. Like if Beasley and Davis were vaccinated, they would have been able to return to practice. But now, because they're not vaccinated, they cannot go back to practice.
And the
So-
trainer who they got COVID from is vaccinated.
Yeah.
They both tested
Yeah.
negative,
Wow.
and they still have to stay. Like,
Yep.
the NFL's making a statement with this, and now it's coming. Like, we saw the rules before. Everyone was like, kind of. Some people were freaking out about it. Some people were like, "Good, that's the way it should be." If you don't want to protect yourself, blah blah blah. We don't have to get into that, but now we're seeing the effects of the regulations and the guidelines that they put in, and
Yeah.
guys are upset. I think it's like this is Buffalo's a great team. We saw what they did last year. High expectations this year. I don't want to speculate or anything, but I feel like this is the type of shit that can shake up a locker
Get into
room
the locker
and
room and
create
divide
a
them.
divide. So
Mhm.
I don't know. Very interesting.
And then you have fucking Atlanta. No one to argue with there.
Oh, did you? Okay, so I wanted to follow up with that very quickly. Thanks for bringing that up. They had two guys who weren't vaccinated, so they were at like 99% or whatever it was. The way they got to being fully vaccinated is by cutting those two players.
No.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
they had two guys who weren't vaccinated.
Oh, man.
Don't know who they were, but like
Tough balance.
Yeah, like it's funny. When I read that, I was like, okay.
Like,
Yeah,
let's be real. They probably like if they were gonna make the roster, they would.
Yeah, of course not.
Right.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, boy.
funny.
Yeah, that's all I got for this week in sports.
Yeah, once again, slow week, as you had just mentioned. I think I just saw this today, or was it yesterday? Robbie Anderson
Yeah.
got extended 2 years. So I don't know what it was at though.
29 and a
27
half.
points. Oh yeah.
29 and a half.
Okay,
We got
Yeah,
20 mil
good.
guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Actually, good for him. And they're excited to watch that. Like I said last episode, I'm excited to see what the Carolina Panthers do this year. So see what's good.
He's done well with that because now he's gonna get his 4th contract before he's 30 years old, or right at 30 years old. So, yes, he's not getting crazy term. It's good money though,
No,
and he'll
yeah,
still get
absolutely.
he'll
Cash
probably
in
get a
again.
major
Yeah.
extension at 30. So
Mhm.
Just very quickly before you go, Cam, like we just said, it's been a super slow week in sports. So I literally Googled biggest news stories this week. And the most read, or like the 4th most read article this week was about how Kenny Golladay and Kadarius Toney have been big disappointments coming out of Giants camp.
Oh.
For new listeners,
KT's
Shane,
hurt,
big
though.
Giants guy.
KT's hurt, so
and
I'll
so is
give it
Kenny Golladay now. He
What?
has a hamstring thing, or
Yeah, Galladay's hamstring's just gone at this point. He doesn't have a hamstring anymore. It's for the
Yeah.
past like 3 years,
yeah.
just non-existent. But Tony's been hurt all pretty much all
Yeah.
training camp, and he had that COVID thing too. So I don't know what's going on in New York, but it's not good.
And speaking of hurt,
Awesome.
Carson Wentz is throwing balls today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And he
yesterday,
looked good. And yesterday, and he looked good.
road to the 3rd first-round pick is looking good.
That's
But no, I don't have anything crazy this week. Speaking of COVID, though, Toronto Edmonton game got postponed this Thursday. They will not be playing. Edmonton has like 5 players, I think, that have COVID, if not more. So that's not good. A little funny story I saw yesterday. After Everson Griffin resigned, well, not resigned, but went back to
fuck.
Minnesota.
Oh yeah.
funny.
You guys saw what he tweeted about Kirk
Oh
yeah.
my
Cousins'
God.
ass. Mike Zimmer didn't want him. Now he came out and said he's gonna have to apologize to Kirk Cousins about
Oh
it.
shit.
That's
I
so
was-
funny.
I'm happy you guys all like saw it. That's
Oh my
that
God.
is hilarious. Yeah,
Bro, I've never seen someone like a professional athlete tweet that. And the fact that he has to go back to that team now is crazy. Kirk Cousins is ass. That kills me.
He also
and
said
one-
Zimmer didn't want him.
yeah. He said ask Zimmer who actually wanted him.
Yeah. Fucking kills me.
And I did see a thing about the Jays today. Might not make the playoffs, but
Oh,
Robbie Ray is
man.
on his way to being like one of the only Blue Jays pitchers behind like Roy Halladay back in the day,
Saw that, yeah.
Ari Dickey and all them for being top 3 in strikeouts and what was it, innings pitched or
Yeah.
some
Yeah,
some
right.
good
Yeah,
stat.
right.
think so.
Yeah, okay.
Oh man, just let me cut you off there. I totally forgot about baseball. Man.
Yankees are doing so good.
God, I don't know why you're gonna tell you, bro. Last week on the podcast, I was like, "Oh, the Yankees are getting hot." They haven't lost since that podcast. They're on a 10 game streak. I know you
Guess
guys.
that's what happens when you buy and trade for every good player in the MLB, eh? Wow, money does
Oh.
wonders. So
Yes,
that's so
Big Yanks
impressive.
fan over there, eh?
Yeah, that's so impressive. Bet you no other team could do that with their money.
Yeah, except for the Dodgers.
No, I said the opposite.
What?
I'm saying every other team could do that if they were in the Yankee situation.
I guess.
Not I
It's
guess.
also
it's
New York.
100%
It's
true.
also New York. It's also the Yankees. Everyone wants to play for the Yankees, man. The Yankees are probably the most historic.
I don't
team.
think
Because
that
they can
many
afford
players-
everyone.
I don't think that many people actually want to play for the Yankees anymore. I don't think it's as like big as it was when we were growing up.
Bad time
hating.
to bring up the
Keep hating.
Yankees, Matt. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. Keep hating.
I
All right,
will.
it's not like they're gonna win the World Series anyway. So.
We'll see. We'll see.
Anyways, I knew none of you were gonna bring this up, so I'm gonna bring it up. The Women's World Championship in hockey is going on right now.
Right. I
And,
wasn't going to bring that up.
I'm aware. And this morning, actually, Hillary Knight broke the record for most goals scored in the World Championship. She broke Cami Granado's record. She scored her 45th goal in World Championship, just World Championships, like not Olympics, not just World Championships. That's pretty crazy. Hillary Knight's probably the best women's goal scorer in the world right now, and I don't think it's really close.
She Canadian?
No.
She's American.
No.
Also, yesterday, some sad news out of the NHL world. Jimmy Hayes passed away. They found him dead. I think it was at home.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't released the cause of death, but the NBC boys are gonna give our condolences to Jimmy Hayes' family and the NHL world. So,
yeah,
31 years old.
Yeah, it's tragic.
That's absolutely tragic.
Awful.
second NHLer this in like what, 2 months, a month and a half.
True, yeah.
Pass away.
Anyways, we'll
right,
end
boys.
this week in sports there. With that being said, let's hop into another episode of More Controversy here. My boy Shaner jumped in, and maybe you wanna start it. So you wanna intro it since you're the one who did the interview again.
Oh man!
Floor is yours.
All right, we had an absolute heater for More Controversy this week.
Yeah.
I know this is a worldwide interview. Everybody around the world knows who this guy is.
Shaner is Mr. Worldwide.
Mr.
we
Worldwide.
got the voice of the NHL video game, James Cybulski. So James, just thank you for joining us, and let's roll that interview
Right now.
All right, guys, what's up? How's it going? We're back with another episode of More Controversy. Today's guest, we got James Cybulski, broadcaster for NHL, the NHL video game. James, first off, we'd just like to thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. More controversy. What are we going to talk about?
We're just going to talk about a little bit about your journey and how you got to where you are.
Okay, well, I'll see if I can make it really controversial then.
Thank you. So first off, I'm just going to give you the floor. Tell us a little bit about where you are today and how you got there.
Where am I today? Presently, like right now, this very instant, or just in general in life?
I mean, you could tell us where you are this very instant, but in general also.
Okay, I won't say I'm in the bathroom. How about that? No, I'm kidding. You know what? I am presently the voice of the NHL soon-to-be 22 video game from Electronic Arts, or EA Sports, which is also the makers of Madden and some of the Star Wars video games now, and obviously the uber iconic NHL franchise that I played as a kid and do that now, and also a parent in a blended household with 4 beautiful young women, and so it's a busy life.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. Got lots to do.
Oh, we do it in the province of British Columbia in Canada on the West Coast.
There you go. So all you BC people, if you see James Cybulski on the streets, just give him a little wave.
There you go.
So you said you played this game, obviously, growing up. What was that feeling like when you first, I don't know, did you get a call saying that they wanted you on, or how did that happen that you got the NHL video game job?
So about 3 years ago, I was hosting a podcast for the Canadian Football League with, do you want the long-winded version of this story, or do you want just really quick?
We'll take the long one.
Okay, take the long. All right. Figure if it's a podcast, right? So we'll stretch it. So about 3 years ago, I was hosting a podcast with David Sanchez, who former Canadian Football League defensive back, played also in the NFL as well. And Davis and I, we would talk all the time, beyond just hosting this podcast together for the Canadian Football League. Davis and I, we just chatted, we just BS like a couple of old people, chatty cat, a couple of chatty catties, if people still use that expression at all. And so we were talking, and he has a really good friend that is a producer for the NHL franchise, and his name is Sean Ramjagsingh, who is one of the leads and one of the major players behind the scenes for the game. And he had just mentioned casually that he was talking to his buddy, and they'd played basketball growing up. And he said, "Oh, yeah, I guess they're auditioning a whole bunch of colleagues that that I've known and worked with over the years for the NHL video game. I guess they're looking for a new broadcast team." And when I heard him say that, I was kind of like, "Oh man, I like video games. And, I like hockey. I used to play that game." And he had mentioned some of the names that had auditioned just because of the casual conversation. I said, "Man, well, I'd love to get my foot in the door for that. How would I do that?" And so I basically had said to Davis, "Hey, do me a favor." I said, "Would you consider asking your buddy if I could at least get an audition? Could I at least try out for it?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Yeah." He said, "I'll ask him." So within a few days, and true to his word, Davis did, and God love him for it. A few days later, I get an email from an HR advisor or member of, I think, the legal process for EA, for Electronic Arts, based out of California. They basically just said, "Hey, look, your name's come up. We'd like to schedule an audition for you for some time in the next few weeks." So we scheduled a date, and funny enough, it just happened to be on a day I finished my radio show, and we were going to Hawaii for a week with the family. So kind of an exciting day. And then here I am trying to cram in this audition at the Burnaby Studios, and then not to mention try to wrangle 4 kids through customs and get on a plane later in the day. So yeah, because it wasn't busy enough. Anyway. I get out to Burnaby and go into the studios, and their studios are just spectacular. They are so cool. Just beautiful facility, wonderful cafeteria, wonderful staff. It's just one of those places that, I've worked in a lot of different places over the years, but this is what I was just kind of like, man, I never worked in a building like this. This is impressive. So I go down into the studio, and they basically just said, "Look, call it like you see it. You don't need to have all the rosters. You don't necessarily have to get all the names right. Just call it as you see it. We're going to show you some highlights and a little bit of gameplay from, some real NHL highlights." And so I did. I just kind of called it as I saw it, and I, put some energy and had some fun with a couple of one-liners in it. And I noticed that, I was in this recording booth, and the editors, the producers, I could kind of notice in the room next to me, I kind of popped the room, if you will, just that they kind of laughed. I noticed that they kind of laughed at a few of the one-liners. And I always think, if you're making people laugh, you're doing something all right.
You're doing your job, yeah.
You're having some fun and doing something right. So anyway, they kind of laughed and giggled a little bit. And the producers there, they just seemed like the nicest people. And it kind of was all a blur. And as I walked out, I thought, I really don't know what the hell just happened, but I think it went well. And then I had to scramble to go to the airport, and off to vacation we go. And to be honest with you, I kind of forgot about it. I mean, hey, look, you fly a 6-hour flight from Vancouver to Hawaii, and there we are. We're on the beach. We're living life. We're having a good time, and I kind of forgot about it. And so after a few weeks, I hadn't heard anything, and a month goes by, and I get an email just saying from somebody on their legal team or HR, just saying, "Hey, just an FYI, we whittled the list down of people and candidates, and we just want to say that you're on the short list." And wow, hey, that's cool. Like, still at the party. It's like playing musical chairs, and I keep finding a chair. So, that kind of came out of the blue, and I felt good. And that felt nice, and thought, oh, hey, that's cool. And they said, we hope to have a decision in the next week to 10 days. Okay, great, thanks. And nothing. And don't hear anything for it just goes crickets. So after a few weeks, I think to myself, well, you know what? That's pretty cool just to be even considered and to be told that I got to the next round. So hey, that was cool. Nice to be even considered, and I'm happy and I'm proud of the fact that I at least gave it a shot.
Definitely something
And
to be proud of.
totally. And so a month goes by and I get another email and it says, we'd like to schedule a chemistry test with another broadcast talent with you. Can you come in? And I'm like, oh, okay, this is getting serious now, right? So I'm like, for sure. So I go back to the studio a month or so later, and they want to try, I guess, chemistry with another broadcaster. And who do I run into when I get to the parking lot? It's none other than former NHLer Ray Ferraro.
Oh,
and
man.
So Ray and I have known each other.
Sorry to cut you off, but had you met Ray before that moment?
Yes, yeah. So Ray and I were both at TSN years back, and Ray traveled a lot more than by the time he got to TSN, he traveled a lot just for all the games.
Yeah.
And by a certain point, like I was doing radio at TSN, and I'd done a lot of reporting, but I was doing more studio stuff probably the last few years that we kind of both worked together. But nevertheless, we knew each other and we weren't tight or anything like that, but we certainly were familiar with each other. And anyway, ran into Ray, and I was like, oh, I mean, and Ray had been involved in the game and as a third man in the booth for prior years. And I knew that they were always big fans of Ray as it was. And I thought to myself, wow, I mean, if Ray's here with me, then man, this could be a sign that they might really might have a chance. And I'm like, oh my God, Ray, like, oh, they love you. And, everybody, Ray's so good at what he does as it is, right? So
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I think everybody's a fan. If you're a hockey fan, you love what Ray Ferraro offers. And
exactly.
So Ray and Ray brought it back to me, and he said, he goes, all I can tell you is, man, whatever you did last time, keep doing it, because it sounds like they really liked what you did. So that was encouraging, and for Ray to say that, and that was super awesome. And we went in and probably for about 10, 15 minutes and just kind of played around back and forth with some banter and kind of rolled off one another. And oh my God, like Ray is so quick-witted and is so quick on his feet. He is just such a tremendous improviser. You either have that or you don't. And Ray's just got a natural ability with that. So we did that. I think it went well. And then another month goes by and crickets. And it's like, what the hell? Like, what's going on here? Because now I'm into it, right? Now I want this game.
Yeah.
And so another month goes by, don't hear anything. So this has gone over a few months now. And so finally I get another email saying, look, we need you to come back one more time for an audition. Can you do that? And now it's like, oh my God, a third callback. This is close. This to me now, I'm thinking, oh, I'm right there. Oh God. And so I go in and I do a third audition just by myself. And one of the producers of the game, David Pritchett, he was very honest and said, look, look at the history of the game, and, Doc Emmerich and Gary Thorne and Jim Houston before that, they're all very iconic, established broadcasters in the hockey world. And his point was, look, there could be some backlash and people going, who the hell is James Cybulski? I think if there's Canadian sports fans who might remember me from The Score and Sportsnet and TSN, but not to the degree of, calling Stanley Cup games. And, let's face it, outside of Canada, not really much of a known commodity at all. And so, outside of my relatives anyway.
Hey, well, now you are.
But there you fooled somebody. And so he just said, look, it's something very real. We've got to make sure, we have this done right. And are you okay to understand, like, there could be backlash? And I said, yeah, I can handle. I mean, social media is kind of like that as it is, so I can handle that. And At the same time, also having to get that approval from their executive team as well to say, hey, look, this is the guy for the game. This is the voice we want to use. And so I finished that audition. They said, we'll let you know in a week. And honestly, it was the longest week of my life, it felt like.
I can only imagine.
Because every text, every email, anytime the phone rang, is this it? Oh my God, I agonized looking at that phone for a week. And finally, Sean Ramjagsing, my buddy Davis's friend, he called and just said, hey, how are you? I said, I'm good. And just want to let you know, we'd like you to be the voice of NHL 20 at the time. And, honestly, Matt, I've done some really cool things. I've experienced a lot of really cool moments in my broadcast career, and probably have forgotten about a lot of them too, which sounds bad to say, that have just been stuff I could only dream of being taken to places around the world that I never thought I would see.
Yeah.
And was effectively paid to watch a lot of cool sporting events in my life. But to get that call, to get the opportunity to be the voice of a video game, and growing up, I played a lot of video games. Never thought I would be involved in one, especially one that I played, and to the degree and the amount that I did. That was one of the most special phone conversations I've ever had, and that meant the world to get that job. And so that's how it all kind of happened. And here we are, 3 years later.
I can only imagine that feeling. Hopefully one day I'll be sitting in the same spot.
Dare to dream, man. I'll tell you what, I was that guy at one time. So, I mean, I was a kid growing up in the East End of Ottawa, and playing NHL 94 and 95, and going away for a couple of years, come back in the PC version of NHL 98, and then move away and get back into it with my PlayStation, and then the PlayStation 2, and you play for a couple of years, and then you go away, and then you're back into it, and NHL 2006, 2007, go away for a couple of years, NHL 2010, come, you go, you come, you go, and just such an iconic franchise, and to be part of it, and to think of just such a short list of people that have called the game as well. It's incredibly humbling, and I would say that as a gamer, as somebody who's played the game a lot, to know, I would say this, and I don't know if it makes sense. I understand the responsibility, and I want that game to be as awesome as possible, because that's what I wanted as a gamer myself all those years. And hopefully people feel like I am treating it with the respect it deserves.
Hey, listen, I know from my opinion, you are doing exactly that.
Thank you.
Your
Your
little one-liners, they make me laugh too. So you kept up with what you wanted.
Thank you. Yeah, no, and that's the other thing about with the game, where I think the producers are really good about allowing us to have some fun and a little bit of personality, but also not compromising the integrity of the game. And so that's something that they're very mindful of. They want it to feel authentic, right? And my approach for the game is, look, if you're playing that game, that's the biggest thing going on in your life in that moment. So I like to have a lot of energy and intensity. But the fact is that even if you are a parent and you are home looking after the kids, you're playing that game, you're prioritizing the game, right? And so to me, I want that game, when you're playing it, at least my approach has been, I want it to be the biggest game of the year in that moment in your world.
Like I said, You've taken that in full stride, and it's a game I enjoy playing even to this day. I'll spend hours playing that game. So thank you for keeping true to yourself, and thank you for making it a game that we all still love playing.
Thanks for all the love. This is great. You're great for my ego, man.
And for the audio, you guys obviously you update it throughout the season as it goes on. Do you have to go back in the booth to do that? Like you have to go back to where you first, got in the booth with Ray, or do you do it? You just film it and then send it in, or
yeah. No, so we do about 250 to 300 hours a year for the game, and yeah, so there's a lot of original, fresh content, and I would say probably between Ray and myself, in the first few years that we've been doing it, I would say there's probably a combined north of 500 hours of audio content and audio commentary that has been assembled. So, I get you're going to hear some things that maybe sound redundant, but for the most part, there's a lot of original content in that game. And, obviously with the impact of COVID and people working from home and virtually, we've been working from our respective homes. They figured it out, good on the crew. They figured it out pretty quickly about a year and a half ago. I'm going to say like April of last year, they figured it out. And so we've been basically voicing from home. Everybody's been kind of working from home and kind of set up a virtual meeting, and we've got all the technical equipment was sent to my place, and and we do it. So so it's kind of worked out. I mean, I always prefer personally the live energy of being in the studio and being around with the crew, and man, that cafeteria is pretty kick-ass at Electronic Arts. So I'm not gonna lie, I miss my poke bowls that they serve there, but for the most part, we've been able to do it, and my commute's never been better. So there's a lot of ease and convenience to be working from home. But that's what we've been doing to be able to pull it off for the last year and a half.
There you go. Listen, where there's a will, there's a way, I guess, and they found their way.
Well, honestly, I mean, the majority of people had probably never even heard of Zoom about 18 months ago, and now now it's right up there with Google.
Yeah, now it's how we live our lives.
Yeah, exactly.
So obviously 22 is coming out soon. So you have all those hours, you have everything recorded that's going to be used throughout this whole year?
I hope so. Yeah, I think it's we obviously done more, and I think it's funny not going into the studios. I'm just the voice talent, right? So it's not to sell myself too short, but I think there's a lot of things that the game has planned. Obviously, with the release of the trailer, they've shown that there's the Frostbite engine for people that understand, from a graphics and a design and a fluidity of the motion. This is just going to make the game. It's going to turn it up to another level, just in terms of the dynamic and the gameplay and the visual. It's going to be really impressive to see this as a boost to a next generation. But from my standpoint, I haven't been privy. Like, I had no idea who was going to be on the cover until they released it.
That was my next question for you.
Not being in the studio, like not being in the studio and not being in there and not being, there to kind of network and shake hands and kind of, just looking for digging for R&D. Looking for scoops, what's going on with the game. I just haven't really been privy to all that. So I've been just as much the dark as some early buzz from a couple of the producers who tested some of the demos, or just I know the audio team's really excited about the work that's been done, and I mean, I'll tell you what, like, for me, the first year I was involved in the game, my entire life, anytime I've done something, whether it's radio, whether it's television, I've always been my own biggest critic. Where
Yeah.
I don't like the way I look, I don't like the way I sound. Oh, I didn't like how I wrote this, I didn't like that. Always nitpicking, right? And I think it's kind of like when you look at a picture of yourself, in a photo, and you go, oh, I don't like my smile. Oh, my eyes are closed. Whatever. I've got my bad side. Whatever.
Yeah.
And so I think that's always been me in terms of how I critique myself. And the first time they put on the game, it was just a rough cut demo. And a few months into it, they just said, okay, just to give you a feel of how it sounds. And, it was kind of a rough cut, and the audio still needed to be mixed and all that. But man, to hear that 10 minutes commentary goofing around with just how it sounded, I usually complain, like I said, about everything I do, and that was maybe one of the first times I went, wow, that sounds friggin' awesome. We have an incredibly talented team of editors and producers, and it was just holy. And every once in a while I get caught, and this sounds probably the most arrogant thing I will ever say, but every once in a while I will play the game, and if it's a tight game or I'm in overtime, and if I'm playing a playoff series, with Ray's commentary, the mixing of the audio and the crowd, and every so often some of my calls, I just say to myself, holy shit, this is good.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of being able to be part of this game, and it's a nice legacy piece, if nothing else, to have. And they've had me back for a couple of years. And, I'm so proud of being able to be involved with it. It's pretty cool.
Hey, listen, the only thing I have bad to say about you is when the other team scores on me and eliminates me from the playoffs, you get a little too excited. I'm gonna need you to tone that one down a little bit.
I'll tell you, I kind of hate on myself when I listen to Be a Pro and my players benched, or I'm on the fourth line and I'm not scoring, and I'm constantly listening to the James Cybulski show and Be a Pro telling me that my player sucks. Cybulski, you just need to shut up, Cybulski. No, so you're not the only one who gets annoyed with me. I get annoyed with myself.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. Gives us some laughs though.
Yes.
Also, you kind of brought it up. That was my next question about the cover. Do you guys are you involved in that in any way, in like voting on the cover athlete, or it's just they tell you who's on it and you just go with it?
Let me ask you this. Based on the results on who's on the cover, do you think I had a say?
I'm gonna go with no on that one.
I did not have a say. No.
Fair enough. We're gonna come back to
that is well above my pay grade. I will say this, like, I know that there's a lot that goes into it, and you also have to have. Here's the other thing that I think a lot of people don't realize, that you have to have a willingness for said athlete to want to be on the cover of that video game. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
Just because you want to put somebody on the cover. So you look at Sidney Crosby, and my understanding is Sid has never had any desire to be on the cover of the video game.
Wow.
Now, he's effectively been the face of the league for the better part of the last 15 years, and one of the greatest players in the history of the sport, the greatest player of his generation. But Sidney Crosby is not a gamer, and whether it's his marketing team, his management team, or simply Sid, it's just not something that he sees value in. So that's his choice, to not want to be on the cover of the game. And so that's why Sid's never been on there. Austin Matthews, I, when you look at today's players, he's got some personality. He's obviously the best goal scorer in hockey right now, and I say that as a big Alex Ovechkin fan.
Yeah.
But he is, but I just think that I can understand when you have somebody who's on the cover for 2 of the last 3 years, people are looking for something different. You're looking for the big reveal, and you're looking, people always want something fresh. And so with Matthews having just been on the cover, I don't think it was one that people. I get it. I understand the hesitation on it, but at the same time, you also have to have a want. So whether Nathan McKinnon was considered, or Temi Panarin or whoever, you ultimately have to also have the player to want to be on. And I think when you look at, I think the hockey culture has certainly changed a lot in terms of personalities and guys willing to show a little more and have a little more fun.
Yeah.
You look at the players who have been on the cover of Madden for the last several years. And, I think most football players seem to recognize the value of a uber iconic video game and franchise like Madden that's been around for 30 years. Obviously, the NHL franchise has been around for years, but I guess there's some guys that don't necessarily see the value from a marketing and a branding aspect that others might. And so I think that's partly why you see who's on the cover sometimes. And look, you also want it to reflect a certain trend and an image. And look, you got the best goal scorer in hockey, and one of the things that they promoted for the game is the X factor. So hey, you want to make sure you got somebody who's all about an X factor. And you just had Ovechkin on the cover last year, and McDavid was just on the cover a couple of years ago as well. So yes, you could rattle off a whole bunch of names, I'm sure, but worst case scenario, you got a guy who just won the Rocket Richard Trophy who's on the cover of the game. Like,
exactly.
You could do way worse. Like I understand where people were hating on. Oh, where's the fresh face? Where's the fresh player? I get that, but at the same time, it's not like you put Eric and Branson or Louis Erickson on the cover, right? It's not like it's not like somebody who's buried in the American League or out there that what's going on.
Yeah, it was
uber controversial.
It was definitely deserved.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, you're talking about a guy who is a cornerstone player, a guy who is a legitimate star in the league. But yes, I think there were a few people that kind of what?
Yeah.
Oh, it's something else. And sometimes people just want something else for the sake of something else, right?
Pretty much, yeah. There's always going to be someone complaining about something.
Yeah, I'm a wrestling fan. Like, all we do is complain, right? So I'm kind of used to people hating.
Fair enough. All right, for now we're just going to step away from the NHL video game. You talked about it, and we have talked about it many times on this podcast. Alex Ovechkin. You said you're a big fan. He just signed a 5-year deal. Tell me, James, is he going to break Gretzky's record?
I'm of the opinion that he is going to break Gretzky's record. Obviously, Ovi needs at least a couple of big years ahead to really make sure he stays within striking distance. But what is he, 35 right now? He has stayed healthy throughout his career. He got off to a bit of a slow start. Like, look, at this stage, he can't afford condensed seasons, right?
Yeah.
And to really only get a half season this past year. And his numbers were still very good. I would say that in a conventional NHL season, he probably still would have hit 40 goals. Ovi needs at least a couple more 40 plus, maybe at least a 50 goal season. But to me, I think that Ovi is good enough, is effective enough, and is also a guy positionally that is smart enough to know how to get there. And, even if his production drops off to 20, 25 goals a season, if he can hit 40 for at least 2 more years,
Yeah.
now you're talking, that's 80 goals. Now you're around 800, and if he drops down to say 30, 25 for 3 years after that, it's doable, right? I think he needs a couple of big years ahead, obviously, or OB-esque type seasons, at least around the 40 goal mark. But if there's a bet to take right now, I would take that bet for Ovi to get that record. I'm a huge Gretzky fan. It's a record I never thought I would see, but to see tumble. But we're having this conversation right now, and I really believe that Alex Ovechkin is going to ultimately catch Wayne Gretzky. It's just the consistency, and to maintain the health that he has. Obviously, health is going to be a factor. If he starts to break down, that could change things in a big way.
Yeah.
But if you're asking me now, in 2021, prior to the NHL 21-22 season, right now, I am of the opinion Ovi is going to catch 99.
I couldn't agree more. I fought for this. I think he's going to catch him too. But record or not, is Ovechkin the greatest goal scorer this game has ever seen?
Yeah, if he ultimately catches Wayne Gretzky, I think you've got to look Mario Lemieux. I think if he had health on his side, without the disruptions, it's hard not to look at what Mario could have done regularly. But Ovi is Mario could also be a tremendous playmaker as well, where Ovi is not really the playmaker. He is a finisher. He is a goal scorer. It's hard not to look at Ovi as the greatest goal scorer, because here's the other thing. Goaltending's never been better in the history of the sport. And he continually finds a way, right?
Yeah.
Like, you could think about every coaching strategy, every player, every goaltender. Hey, you know what? We're going to have to watch out for number 8 for Washington tonight, right? Like, there's a game plan, like game plan to prepare to try to counteract what Alex Ovechkin, the grade 8, does. And he still burns teams time and time and time again. And it's remarkable to think that he will go down as the greatest goal scorer in the history of the sport and not the best player of his generation. Right? Yeah. I think that still has to go to Sidney Crosby, who has lived up to every hype and expectation that has been thrown his way over the last 15 to 20 years, and he's exceeded it. Right? 3 Stanley Cups, gold medals, golden goals, you name it. But Ovi's got a Stanley Cup, and he's got 700 plus goals. And, there was a guy who was expected to be a franchise player himself, and he's certainly lived up to the hype and exceeded.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely probably a tough pill to swallow for him, knowing that he'll never be the greatest of his generation, but he does have that greatest goal scorer ever in his back pocket, and does not seem to be slowing down anytime soon. So we'll see. We got 5 more years of Ovi in Washington, and let's see what he can do.
Yeah, and I got no qualms with that contract and what he's done with that franchise. The Capitals for a long time were irrelevant, and the Capitals have sold a lot of jerseys as a result of what he's meant to that team.
He's let me tell you, he's one guy I'm trying to party with. Next Stanley Cup, I'm making my way down to Washington.
We all wanted to party with Obi.
All right. This is our last 2 questions I have for you are questions we ask everybody. You talked about Davis Sanchez. Obviously, we had him actually for episode 33, and he gave us some advice. So you talked about the podcast you had a little bit earlier. So what's some advice you could give us as we kind of make our way into the game here?
From a podcast standpoint, or just in life?
Start with podcasts, and then we'll always take the life advice too.
Sure. I guess what I would say is it's always easy to get on a microphone and it's always easy to criticize somebody. But a great piece of advice somebody once gave me is don't say something about somebody you wouldn't say to their face.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you're willing to say something to someone's face, then by all means say it. But it's very easy. And hey, it's easy when you're in a studio or you're at home and you're podcasting, you're on the microphone, and the person's a million miles away. But it's easy to sometimes take cheap shots and take shots at people and say this, that, and the other. And it's easy to be critical, but it was a good rule of thumb that somebody once said to me that it's don't say something about somebody that you wouldn't say to their face. To me, I think that's a good rule to go by, to be professional and just, be mindful of other people. You can, hey, look, if you think somebody is a lousy hockey player and their performance, face it, back it up statistically.
Okay.
But but being just personal attacks on people, that's where you see a lot of it on social media, and it's easy to kind of get caught up in the swell of the moment. And to this day, sometimes I make those mistakes from time to time as well. But the thought of just being respectful to others, and if you couldn't handle saying that, going up to somebody's face and saying what you're saying about them on the air, then maybe you shouldn't say it. The other thing I would just say is be fearless. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to try things. And we all get nervous and sometimes have our worries and concerns or our insecurities, but it's okay to fail because that's what makes us better. And I look at Tim Tebow recently. He just got cut trying out as a tight end with the Jags.
Yeah.
And look, politics, faith, it's not for everybody. And I totally get that. But at the same time, I look at Tim Tebow and I say to myself, there was a guy who it wasn't necessarily working as a quarterback, and was asked multiple times when he was younger, hey, maybe try this, maybe try that. Could have come up to the CFL, continued to play quarterback. Could have simply been an analyst and make millions of dollars in college sports as an analyst and make millions of dollars doing that. But you know what? He was willing to try everything while he could, right? I mean, here was a guy who went out and tried minor league baseball. And, that's not a big salary. There's not a lot of money in that. But he thought, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to give it a try. And, all right, it didn't work out. Hey, you know what? I'm going to try being a tight end in the National Football League. And it didn't work. But, again, he gave it a try. I respect that, to be fearless. And so many of us, we just get nervous to try to get up on stage and karaoke. He could have had a very easy safety net and simply gone about his business and worked as an analyst and made millions of dollars and nobody blinked about it, right?
Yeah.
But instead, he put himself out there in a fishbowl, put himself in the line of criticism, and he did it. I respect that about somebody who is not afraid to fail, because in today's day, I mean, we are so image conscious and we're worried about, nobody wants to fail, right? We all want to succeed. And I think what we got to learn and remember is it's okay to fail sometimes, right? Like there's only one Stanley Cup champion every year. If you look at it from an NHL standpoint, right? There's 31 teams that ultimately fail. Now, if you're if your goal is ultimately to win the Stanley Cup and nothing else, then okay, everything else is a failure. But if you win the MVP, if you win the Hart Trophy, you win the Rocket Richard, look. You're going to look at the stand. Look at the Montreal Canadiens this year. Like, I'm sure it was incredibly difficult for guys like Carey Price, Shea Weber, and Brendan Gallagher to come up short getting as far as they did. But are you going to call like that Montreal Canadiens run a failure? I think if you asked every fan of the Habs, man, even as somebody, I grew up hating the Habs. That was so much fun. I can't look at that as a failure. People, if the Habs don't get back to the Cup for several years, there's going to be a new generation of Montreal Canadiens fans that are going to remember the run of 2021.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, thank you for that. Thank you for the advice. Our last question here. Like I said, ask everybody. It's kind of an off-topic question, but if you were in a deserted island and you can only bring 3 things, what would your 3 things be?
Deserted island.
Yeah, and you can't bring people. So 3 things, not people. What would you bring?
Okay. Well, what do I have like to survive? Is there anything?
You got nothing.
Like, is there anything I have right now to begin?
You got nothing. You're there with absolutely nothing.
Okay. A lot of food. Right? Let's say food. Probably one kick-ass utility tool, like let's say like a Swiss Army knife on steroids to help me with survival skills, and a great collection of books.
Fair enough. There you go. See, your list actually made sense. Davis.
I didn't. You know what? Sorry. You know what? Hold on. I gotta change that. I want my partner Brenda. I want my better half. I want her on the island. Can I bring her?
Yeah, we'll allow it. We'll allow it. But see,
and I want all the kids too. But
okay. See, you thought about.
I don't know if that counts as
Davis. Okay,
no. I would say no. But if we can't bring people, I'm gonna say food, like an insane amount of food. The Swiss Army knife on steroids, and a case of books.
Fair. Like I said, you thought about your list. When we asked Davis this question, he said he was bringing like Vaseline or something. I don't even know.
That's the most Davis. That's the most Davis Sanchez as Vaseline.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said anybody that knows him knows he doesn't go.
Yeah.
But
he's always moisturized. Always moisturized.
I mean, I guess if he needs it, he needs it. But listen, we're gonna wrap up this interview, James. I just want to thank you again for hopping on with us here. I'll definitely be listening to you when the other team scores and eliminates me from the playoffs. I'll still get mad at you, but it is what it is. Like I said, thank you, and we'll hope to have you back soon. Go enjoy whatever you're doing today. And before we do go, though, I need you to hit me with some of those one-liners.
Which ones?
I know the boys wanted the centered out front one.
I don't even remember.
Let me
find it. Centered out front.
There it is. Yeah, that's what they wanted. And me personally, I think my favorite one is from Gretzky's office. That one gets me every time. So if you could give me one of those, that would be great.
Right from Gretzky's office.
Oh man, perfect. Thank you so much. Like I said, we hope to have you once again on this podcast. For all those listening, this was a great interview with NHL, the voice of NHL, James Cybulski.
Thanks, Matt. Take care, everybody.
God, what a fantastic interview.
Unbelievable.
It just happened right now. Oh my God.
Trainer, I can't. You're just the best. You're the best at interviewing people, and you look good all the time. It's ridiculous.
Thank you.
It's ridiculous. I wish I could be you. I wish.
No, it was. I wish you guys could have hopped on with us. It was really fun. James, hopefully we'll keep in touch. We'll get you back on here when you are also running it back for 23. 22 is about to be released, but 23, you're a lock.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Fired up for that. Fired up for that. Yeah. Thank you, James Cybulski. And with that being said, let's head into our question of the week. So before I said talking about the NCAA was foreshadowing to our prediction, our question of the week, let's say. So our question of the week this week is, who is your early prediction for the CFP National Championship? So I have finalists and champions here. Shocker that I have Alabama and Clemson playing each other for like the 7th time in the last 9 years in the college football playoff. With the champions being, of course, why would I bet against Alabama? Cam, I know you're gonna hate me, but I don't think that Oklahoma's number 2 right now. I thought Spencer Rattler wasn't great last year until the end. At the end, he showed signs that he could definitely be a NFL quarterback. At the start of the year, I didn't think he was great.
How many Oklahoma games? No, I don't want to
This
go off.
guy's
How
about
many
to go
Oklahoma
first
games did
overall
you
next
watch?
year.
Huh?
How many Oklahoma games did you watch?
At least like half of them.
Really?
At the start of the year, didn't they lose like twice?
Yeah, they started 1-2. After week 3, he wasn't even bad in the losses. He wasn't great, but
He was
wasn't
bad. He had
bad.
one game where he got benched. He was bad in that.
Yeah,
one.
that was week 2.
Yeah.
But after the 3rd week, he was lights out, man. Like, he barely threw any picks.
That's
So
a-
I don't know if you watch anything past week 3. Hard to say. He was bad.
Guy's the favorite to win the Heisman right now. And
Oh, I don't want to like speculate about
I'm
that.
not on the hype. I'm not on the hype.
Oh man,
Fair enough.
guy's probably gonna go first overall in the draft too.
I'm not gonna hate you for saying Oklahoma's not number 2, but Spencer Rattler looked amazing last year, especially for a guy who's in his first year starting
We'll see.
with all the pressure, a
hype
lot
yet.
less weapons.
I'm open to changing my mind, but right now I'm not on the hype. But yeah, Alabama, Clemson, Alabama champions once again.
Well, I could say this exact same thing as you because that's probably what it's going to be. But for the sake of getting on Cam's good side, I'll throw OU in there. But I'll have Bama winning. I don't know. They're fucking going to win. Like, what am I going to say? That's it.
It's
Washington
really funny
Huskies.
because
I don't know. Washington Huskies top 10. I don't know.
yeah, this is pretty funny because similar to Dawson, I have OU and Bama.
Really?
Both teams have electric quarterbacks, and I don't know. I'm just saying this because I'm assuming they both have solid defenses. So which goes a long way. Good quarterback play and a great defense. And but if there was one team that I'm excited to watch this year that was ranked last year, I think 8 or something, Cincinnati.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I think they could be a dark horse to make the playoff. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm just excited to obviously to watch college football again, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, big Desmond Ritter guy. He's sick.
I love
also
that.
I forget the tight end's name, but he's disgusting. They have a crazy tight end over there.
Yeah, well, fucking Cincinnati's basically tight end you. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
but,
I forget his name, but
no, I'm excited
could
to
have a
see
big year.
Iowa.
Hmm?
Iowa's tight end you, but
Travis Kelce.
Kittle,
That's all I got.
Travis Kelce.
Hawkinson.
Travis Kelce.
Anyways, Cam, you're up, bud.
Yeah, I went a little off the board here. I do have Bama as the champs just for,
Obvious reason.
if I had to put money anywhere, obviously it would be on Bama. Finalists, I really struggled with this one. But I'm going to go with Georgia. I know they're playing Bama in the regular season. I know it's going to throw a wrench in their season, but they're returning JT Daniels. They're returning Zamir White. And their other running back, I can't remember his name right now. But anyways, they have a great defense. They always do. They always have a great run game. JT Daniels looked insane last year. And they also have George Pickens, who is going to be the best receiver in college football this year, in my opinion. I would be shocked if he wasn't. Maybe Chris Olave since he's returning, but other than that, it's open. The reason why I don't have Oklahoma there Big 12 is pretty stacked this year. It doesn't look like it right like at first look, but Tyler Shuck from Oregon, he started all year at Oregon last year, entered the transfer portal. He's at
Right.
Texas Tech now. Texas has, again, might be the best running back in the nation this year in Bijan Robinson. We don't know who's going to start there at quarterback, but he was like second or third in rushing yards last year, so I don't know. And then Iowa State is coming in at 5 on the AP top 25 poll. So if Oklahoma's at 2 right now preseason, Iowa State's at 5. They're returning their quarterback, who I
Brock
cannot.
Purdy.
Yeah, Brock Purdy. They have Charlie Kohler at tight end. Matt Campbell is still the head coach. So
Matt Campbell.
I am still the head coach. Yeah.
yeah, teams to watch though. Yeah, Clemson obviously. Oklahoma, Ohio State is still around. Like we said, we don't know who their quarterback's going to be, but Jeremy Ruckert at tight end, Garrett Wilson, they have Chris Olave. Like, anyways, and then yeah, Cincinnati's nice. They're coming in at 8. I think they're coming in right around 8. They probably won't lose. The AC is not very strong, and then University of North Carolina. We haven't really spoke about them too much yet, but don't think they're going to come in at 1 or 2. But Sam Howell, he's a freak. I loved him after his freshman year. Last year, he really started getting a lot of recognition.
Yep.
This is his showcase year, so we'll see what.
This is last year, eh?
Yeah, but they're losing both running backs, Daz Newsome, so that offense is getting rebuilt right in front of him. He's the only piece. They always have a good O-line, so we'll see what happens, but that's another team to watch for me. They might sneak into the top 10.
Yeah, like Cam said, it's kind of getting more competitive in college football, starting this year, and now especially with the expansion of the playoffs, beginning in a couple of years. Me and Cam have talked about this a lot, so I don't think what I'm about to say is going to come as a surprise to him. I have OU and Bama in the finals, but I do have OU beating Bama.
Whoa.
I can't go that far.
I do have Oklahoma beating Bama. Just the experience that Rattler has playing over Bryce Young. Bryce Young sitting on a bench. I think that's what it comes down to.
Oklahoma's D-line too. I don't want to talk about Oklahoma too much because you guys know I'm a fan, but their D-line's like number 3, I think, like preseason ranked. They're returning everyone except Ronnie Perkins. So that's going to be very scary D-line.
Boys, I'm excited for college football.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I am like sneakily one of the biggest college football guys. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
I love this shit. I've been watching high school shit early on. Like, it's gonna be a sick year. I think.
You watch high school football?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I keep up with 24/7, Max Preps, all them. Watch like ESPN shows a few games every week, so catch the highlights on YouTube and shit. It's pretty sick, honestly. You watch like Peyton Ewers or Quinn Ewers. Who the fuck is Peyton?
No idea.
But like him, Archie Manning's kid.
Bro, Quinn Ewers is disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Big Arch Manning guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck yeah.
Well,
He's
guess
gonna
what?
be gross.
Guess what?
What?
It's time for our bold prediction of the week. We're sticking with college football here. Not only will Hawaii cover the 18-point spread that they're underdogs against, but they'll actually win versus UCLA. UCLA is going to have another tough year, and Hawaii is
tuned for my lock.
Facts.
But yeah, plus 18, I'll take it. They're going to win.
All right.
It's my bold prediction.
I don't know well, there definitely isn't betting odds on this. Future bold prediction, ride with my guys. Washington Huskies will finish the year a top 10 team.
I like that. Bookie transferred there. I've been
I
sending
don't
Dawson,
like
I
the
sent
quarterback
Dawson a couple
situation.
videos.
What scares me, but
Dude, Bookie is love that guy.
Washington QBs always get it figure it out.
I mean, they had Jacob Eason for a year. They had what's his name before that. I forget his name. But Dylan Morris, I don't know. We'll see. But bold prediction of the week, gotta ride with it. Top 10, end of the year.
Love it. I'm leaving NCAA football real quick, but I'll be back for the log. My bold prediction. Obviously, we all know Vladdy's been in a bit of a slump here, and I will be in Toronto on Thursday. So Thursday night, Vladdy will homer twice and get back on that train.
Ow!
And hopefully this helps the Jays string along a couple W's. So there it is, boys.
We love that. No, I'm gonna go to our friend of the show here, Jack at UConn. They're plus 27 and they're 27 and a half underdogs, by the points. Take them plus 27 and a half. And I'm gonna go with money line. Not sure how reliable that is. Great value though. It's at like plus 1,500 now. So if you
Who are
want to
they playing?
sprinkle, Fresno
Who are they playing?
State. Yeah, another Montrealer on that squad. Gonna be chasing Jack all night. But no,
Oh, it's true. What's his name?
Dumas, Alexander Dumas.
Yeah.
But yeah, he listen, I wasn't gonna say plus 27 and a half because that doesn't seem like a bold prediction, but the consensus is they might lose by more than that and easily. So at least take them plus 27 and a half. If you have huge nuts, then take them money line. That's my bold prediction.
I'm going to stick with our boy Jack. Jack's going to have himself a game, boys. Jack is going to have himself a game. Jack will throw for over 350 yards.
Wow.
Let's go.
Love that.
Love that. Fucking love that.
150 of those to my boy Cam Ross.
There you go.
Hey, lock that shit in.
Hey, that was our bold predictions, and now we're moving on to what's becoming pretty much everyone's favorite segment. We're having a trivia night, and it's time for Cam to host trivia this time. So right now.
Welcome back to trivia.
Sorry, with the more controversy, these episodes are just rolling by. I'm not mentally prepped for trivia right now. I'm a bit nervous. I'm not in the right
I'm
state.
fired up for trivia.
I'm actually never prepped for trivia, so it's
Clearly.
Got the scoreboard going. Welcome back, episode 37 of trivia. And we have not missed a beat on college football yet so far, so we have 6 college football questions.
Yeah, I'm losing.
And three NFL questions. We're gonna start off with the NFL ones, get the boys rolling a bit.
I'm fucked.
You know,
Kane won. Give him
I
his
don't think
fucking
so.
crown. Like, what the fuck?
I don't think so. I kept them. There's a couple that, I think you guys should get them.
All right. Fuck it.
It shouldn't be like zeros, but anyways.
All right. I'm down.
We'll start with the NFL very quickly. This is an active record, by the way. So, which franchise is now going through the most consecutive seasons without a losing record? Without like a losing record. So they've won more. They're better than even the last 17 years. 17 years.
Damn.
Goes all the way back to 2003. This one I saw all over Facebook, IG, Twitter. So I had to throw it in this week.
Definitely could be wrong. Probably wrong.
Shot in the dark.
I don't know yet.
Count us down, Cammy boy.
This
Go
is
4,
so
3,
this is
2, 1.
It's wrong. I knew it was wrong.
Yeah, I'm putting one up, but just
Matty Ice has the Steelers.
I know they have it.
LBS has the Bucks. Dawson has Green Bay, and Shane had
Ravens.
the Ravens. So one of you has it right. That's Matty Ice. Pittsburgh, since 2003, has not had a losing season.
I know Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season.
Good for you, man. That's a great guess. Good job.
Another active record question here. Most consecutive games. So this is as a team, not one specific player or anything. Most consecutive games with 100 or more rushing yards. This is over the last 39 games, so 2 and a bit full seasons. Most consecutive games with 100 plus rushing yards.
Consecutive.
39 consecutive games with 100 plus rush yards.
You had 39?
It's not a player.
It's not a player. It's a team.
Oh.
It's a team. It's a team.
How many seasons is that?
This is
You
two
said
and a half
two and-
seasons.
Okay.
And it's active.
That's active, yeah.
It was between two teams for me.
We ready?
Oh man. It's
3, 2,
No, I'm wrong. I'm
1.
wrong.
No idea.
Yeah, Matt's right.
Yeah, the
We have the
Ravens. were
Titans
my-
Oh, I was gonna
Liam.
go with the Ravens.
From
The Ravens
Liam and
were my-
Shaner. Dawson had I don't know who.
Seattle.
And Matt has the Ravens. The correct answer is Baltimore.
Oh my god!
Fuck, I knew it.
Fuck.
After 2 questions, Matty has 2, and the rest of you are laying goose eggs here.
It's
So funny. It's so funny.
I'm laughing, but I'm gonna go 0 for 6 in these college football ones. So guys
So
are well in it.
I did not know that this stat has only been recorded since 1999. And the answer to this question is a guy who's no longer in the NFL, but someone that we all know very well. Who has the most career forced fumbles? So it's only since 1999, and he's no longer in the league. Most career forced fumbles.
I don't know why, but I have the weirdest guess, and it's super wrong. But
Go 3, 2, 1. Shane and Dawson have Charles Tillman. LBS has Troy Polamalu, and Matt has Vince Wilfork. Shane and Dawson had the guy who's number 2 on the list.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
man.
none of you guys had the right answer. Dawson, I thought you'd get this one. Your boy, Robert Mathis.
Is
Wow.
it?
54.
no way,
Wow.
I've never gotten that.
54.
I believe that. I believe that.
How many did Tillman have?
Second.
Like
one.
52.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's close. It's really close.
Half point.
All right, we ready to
50
move on
point.
to college football?
Not really, but
Well, if you guys watched college football last year, this is a gimme. But who did Ohio State defeat in the Big Ten championship last year? Justin
Why
Fields did
do I
not
know?
play well.
Why am I drawing a blank right now? Oh my god.
I'm getting on the board, boys.
I'm having a stroke.
Let's go
I
5,
did not watch college football last.
4, 3,
I know.
2, 1.
I have nothing. Yeah, that's what it is.
Shane has Northwestern. Dawson has Wisconsin. You guys have blanks.
I was gonna write the
It is
purple.
Northwestern.
purple team.
Shaner is on the board. I thought that was a gimme. I guess not.
It should have been.
Sorry, boys.
'cause how I
It was.
I'm
It was.
sorry,
It honestly
boys.
was. I fucked
I'm
up.
sorry.
I'm just thinking about that one coach. Well, who's always
The strength and conditioning coach.
Oh yeah.
Kills me.
I was like, what the fuck? I know he wears purple. Shit. So bad.
All right. Well, I'm moving on to the next one. There are 3 college football teams who have produced 5 first overall picks in the NFL draft. Name one of them.
Wait, there's 3?
There's 3 teams they're all tied for most first overall picks in the NFL draft with 5. They each have 5 guys who have been first overall. Name one team.
This is a pure guess.
Me too.
E3.
Me
And
4.
it's definitely
There are 3 teams, so 3, 2, 1. Show them. All right. Matt, Dawson, and Shane also all have Oklahoma. Liam has Clemson. The 3 answers are Oklahoma, Notre Dame, and USC.
Go.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay a goose egg for sure.
What's the score,
I
Cam?
already
Tell us.
know. You just said it.
Through 5 questions, Matt has 3, Shane has 2, Dawson has 1, and Liam has 0.
All right, perfect. I just wanted to hear that Liam has 0.
All right.
You're a dick.
Which
I'm not even
team?
mad.
So this is for last year. Which team, not player, threw for the most yards per game in 2020? Which team, not specifically a player?
This is a huge guess.
Name. If you didn't already know.
Go 3, 2, 1.
That's what I like. I meant UNC by NC, by the way.
Yeah. So Matt and Shane have UNC. Dawson has OU.
I'm gonna
Liam
not
has
erase
Clemson.
OU from my board.
I'm surprised Shane didn't get this one. Florida threw for 388.4
Florida.
yards a game.
Florida.
Yeah,
Makes sense because they didn't have a fucking running back.
next two.
Come on, boys!
I was trying to make it like harder as we went, but
Harder as you went.
You're doing
Liam
a
has
great
0.
job.
okay. This one someone might know. Who leads the NCAA all time in career pass yards? Someone who's in the NFL right now, not starting,
I know this.
but he's in the NFL right now.
Oh my god! I think
I don't know why this guy's name came to my head.
I swear I read this stat like this week.
I want to give up his school, but I'm not sure if that would be a dead giveaway.
I don't know why this guy came to my head.
too.
This is
I mean,
one
I know
Go
why.
3, 2, 1.
Oh no way!
Me
So
too.
the three
No
boys have
way!
AJ McCarron.
Fuck. Okay.
Oh,
I
it
know
is.
this.
Oh, Dawson's right. Dawson's right.
With,
Bro, I swear I saw
what?
this stat.
Dawson's
with
right.
19,217 career pass yards at the University of Houston.
Bang.
Case Keenum is your
Dawson's
I
right.
saw
NCAA
that stat
all-time
this
leader.
week. Let's.
I don't know why AJ McCarron came to my head.
That was the only name I got.
How
All
long
right.
did he start at Bama?
Probably not that long.
A year, I
McCarron?
think. 2 years.
No, he was there at least 2. He started.
I think it was 2, if not 3. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely 2 though. Over to receivers. Again, a guy who's in
Hang on, how many questions do we have left?
2. This is the second to last question. It's a tight race. Who leads the NCAA all-time in career receiving yards?
Can you repeat the question?
I should know this.
Who leads the NCAA all-time in career reception yards?
He's in the NFL at the moment.
He's in the NFL right now, relatively young.
He's young.
Mm-hmm. He's on his second contract.
Fuck.
You for saying that?
I was gonna say Brandon Stokely, so I guess it's not him.
Bro, I have
I have
Okay.
absolutely no idea.
the hints like screwed with my head more than if I didn't have hints.
It's his 5th year in the NFL.
Okay, mine's wrong, but I'll just.
I'll give you guys some time. I'm not rushed.
Receiver, he's in the NFL. Is
I
fifth.
don't know why. I don't know
He
why
went to like a very unpopular college as well, if that helps you guys at all.
Is okay. Can you give
I
us?
know
one
who it
more-
is.
Can you give us one more hint?
Fuck! Stop giving hints, man. Shane's gonna get it.
I know who it is. I know who it is.
Either it was fair for everyone. If you don't get it after that hint, then
Does he play for the team he got drafted by?
I'm not answering that
I
one.
know who it is. Oh man.
I'm going 3, 2, 1. Let me see him. No cheating. Oh, that's it. We only got 2 answers.
Yeah.
So we have DJ Moore from Matty Ace and Corey Davis from Shaner with 5,278 yards out of Western
guy.
Michigan University.
Damn,
Corey
Shane!
Davis.
Fuck.
Shane has tied it up going into the last question.
Fuck. Can I still tie it or no?
Yeah, if they both get it wrong and you get this on the next one.
Okay, wait.
Oh,
Does
man.
Liam have 0?
I don't want to
Can I
answer
still
that one
tie
either.
it?
I don't want to answer that one either.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Liam might get this one. I was looking at all-time career passing yards, obviously, and then I wanted to see touchdowns, but the top 5 guys for touchdowns were like
Obvious.
in the 90s, I think. So
Oh.
yeah, it wasn't really recent. Not guys we would know, you know. So
Mhm.
in a single season, who has the record for most passing touchdowns?
Oh. Fuck. I forget
I
his
think it
name.
was broken recently.
I forget his name.
There's no way you'd forget his name.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's see if someone has a winner here.
I'm putting a name just because you said I wouldn't forget his name.
Go
but
5,
Right.
4, 3, 2, 1.
I don't think
So
Oh my
the
God.
three. Wow.
Is it not the guy from Hawaii?
No. Joe Burrow is the correct answer.
All right, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, so but I'm not in the finals. That's bullshit.
You're out.
I am out. Do you have a tiebreaker, Cam?
I do not.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So we're gonna find one really quick.
In the
We should
meanwhile-
probably have like 5 tiebreakers on the like ready to go if on trivia night, just in
Oh,
case.
yeah. But speaking of trivia night, if you guys liked what you just watched, come on down to the Pines Pub, September 2nd, 7 p.m. DM one of us on Instagram. DM Nothing But Controversy on Instagram. DM the Pines Pub on Instagram. Reserve your team now. Honestly, by the time this episode comes out, I don't know how many teams are going to be left. It could very well be sold out. But DM us anyways. See if we can fit you in. See what we can do. Yeah, it's going to be an absolutely awesome night for a fantastic cause. A fantastic cause.
I don't know if you guys will fucking get that. All right. So I don't know if there's been a better offense since then, but in 2013, this offense scored 52.4 points per game. Who are they?
So this is first to raise it, or are we taking turns?
Oh well, if someone gets it, someone's gonna get it.
Yeah.
Nope.
Fuck.
So Shane had Oregon. Cam said no.
No. No.
Matt had Bama. Shane had OSU. Both said no. Matt says LSU.
Nope.
Cam,
Shane, they were second.
Shane says FSU. Is that
Wait,
Jameson?
2013?
Yeah.
Auburn.
Nope.
Cam Newton era Auburn. Oh no, that's after. Cam
That was
Newton.
right after Cam.
Yeah. Is it a well-known team?
They're not. No. They're
We
not.
need to bring.
They're not like a top 5 perennial team, but they had a crazy year this year
Okay.
because of one guy.
Speaking of this and asking the questions, we need to bring back Guess Who?
I don't know.
UNC.
2013.
Come
From
on.
one guy.
Come on.
Oh.
I
Nope.
Oh.
Oh, I thought it was Johnny.
Yeah.
Oh man.
No. You're on
That
the right
pains
track,
Shane
though.
to
You're
write.
on the right track.
Oh,
On the right
I
track.
just saw who it is now.
Nope.
fuck.
Is it OU?
Yeah, he just got it. Shit.
Shane just got it, I think. I'm not
Oh,
gonna
I
answer
hope
that
so.
question. Was not Oklahoma though. No.
Fuck.
What do you think?
Trevon
Andy Dalton?
Boykin. Trevon Boykin.
Dude, I have a good hint for it.
Come on, yeah, me too. But like, come on, because of one guy, one specific guy.
Bro, I've went through everybody in my head that it could have been that one specific guy.
Clearly not. You haven't.
In my head that I remember.
I have like the perfect fucking
2013.
hint for you guys, but
Okay, we'll say it.
well, I'm not going to because it's just gonna be a race to who writes faster. Come on, 2013. No.
Fuck.
Come on, boys.
Okay,
I don't even remember what teams I've said at this point.
They had the Heisman winner. 2013.
This is way. No, this is way later, right?
Yeah, that's like 2016 or 2017.
So with the 2013 Heisman winner?
Cam, was that the guess you had lined up?
Oh,
I mean,
Oh, maybe he won it in 2012 then, but
And him?
no.
Wasn't
He never won it, but I was just.
Jameis the Heisman winner that year?
He might have been, but
I said
then this guy won it the year before.
Cam, I think I hate to be that guy, but I think you're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
Because 2012 was Johnny.
So then it was 2014. that he won it. Dude, they have one of the best college football players we've ever seen.
But who?
Or maybe
I'm
he got
con-
drafted before that, but still.
Bro, he didn't suck.
No, you guys are getting hotter, but you can't get the one team.
Because if it's
I
the
thought-
one team, I think
It is. I guess I'm wrong about where this guy was.
Cam.
No.
Fuck.
what the hell is going on here?
Bro, we're gonna get this and I'm gonna freak out. Is what Cam giving us like fact?
I'm
It's
confused.
100% accurate. It's 100% accurate.
He won the Heisman in 2013.
Oh no, this guy not anymore. That's off the table. They have the guy who won the Heisman around that time. I don't know if it was 2011 or 2012, but in 2013, this guy was no longer on their team, but they became well known because of this guy, and then they had.
Oh, I
Mhm.
think I got it.
You definitely, if you don't have it by now, oh my god,
Hawaii, he says.
Ugh.
you've guessed
Oh.
every other team in the state.
No.
All right, we have
Can I put it in?
champions.
Never mind.
Co-champions.
I refuse to give up.
Rock, paper,
Go on.
scissors.
I refuse to give up.
Matt has clearly given up.
Can I say a little hint? It won't like I don't think it'll
Please.
give it
Oh.
away, but
No, I don't think so. But
I've guessed like 10 times the amount of people.
No.
Liam, give a hint. I don't care at this point.
Yeah,
me
literally.
either.
the player Cam was referring to, what I believe was, I don't know if he was on the last game, but he was on the cover of an NCAA deal game.
Yes, he
Taylor!
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, I
job.
didn't think it would give it away right away.
Oh, man.
Maybe that was
Oh,
too much.
Hey,
Congratulations.
2012.
Shane, it was a pleasure.
He was drafted in 2012.
So
Yeah,
there you go. Then he
yeah.
won the Heisman in 2012. But
Shane saying, Cam saying fucking 2014 Heisman winner. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, man. All right.
It was an
It's good
absolute.
to be back. It's good to be back.
Fuck,
Yeah.
boys.
Yeah.
Hey, fuck trivia. If you want to come to trivia, though, our next trivia segment that you'll see will be next Wednesday. But after that, it'll be the following
Oh.
day, the Thursday, September 2nd, Pines Pub. See you there. Matt, what do we got next?
I'm back on top
Uh,
where I belong.
Yeah.
And guess what's now? Like, come on. Like,
Come
what
on.
always comes after trivia? This is definitely everyone's favorite segment. Top 5. Welcome back to Top 5. We did 4 straight weeks of childhood stuff,
And it's over.
and I am pleased to say that it is over. Are we doing sports?
Fuck
Negative.
no.
Negative. This week, we're doing top 5 characters in TV shows. Very broad lists, I'm guessing here. So, I mean, we did favorite TV shows. So you're going to see kind of a theme going here with favorite characters from favorite TV shows. But like, okay, number 5. You guys aren't going to freaking...
Johnny Test.
Peter Griffin and Family Guy. Okay?
At 5.
Yeah.
Wow.
Listen. A lot of people might think, okay, he's the stupidest thing ever, but Peter Griffin absolutely makes that show. Everyone says Stewie Griffin's my favorite character. Sure. Stewie Griffin has the funniest one-liners, like maybe in TV history. So funny what he says, but Peter Griffin absolutely makes that show.
Peter is way funnier than Stewie. Like,
I personally think that Peter is funnier. Maybe that's just because it's my dumbass humor. But anyways, number 4, person who makes Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Jake Peralta. I'm also a huge Andy Samberg guy. So his humor is like me. That's my favorite. Like Andy Samberg's my favorite character. Like my favorite actor. Jake Peralta is perfect in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Number 3, Harvey Specter in Suits. My goodness, Dawson, you never watched Suits, eh?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Harvey Specter. I had an argument with the guy at my work who said that Louis Litt was the best character from that show.
Bro, Lewis is a
Questionable.
bitch.
I thought Louis Litt.
Little rat-faced bitch.
No, Louis Litt was a fantastic character. He 100% was very important to that show. But Harvey Specter made that show, man. Like he was the guy. He was what made things happen. Number 2, Michael Scott in The Office. Like it's very hard. If this guy at number 1 wasn't there, Michael Scott would 100% be number 1.
Yeah.
Michael Scott is so funny. People I hate people say like, "Oh, The Office is so stupid. I hate it." Like,
It
fuck
is.
off.
Oh, it
It's
is stupid.
So
But
funny,
it's
man.
fucking funny.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Number 1, the most perfect character in all of TV history, Phil Dunphy
Fuck yeah.
in Modern Family.
Oh yeah.
Like Ty Burrell, like, man, you were so good in that show.
Yeah.
Like, clap it up, man. That guy was good. That guy was good.
Similar list to my boy Matty Ice over there. At 5, I do have 2 cartoon characters on this list. At 5, Roger from American Dad. So fucking funny. Stupid show. Stupidest show ever. But Roger from American Dad kills me. Number 4, Peter Griffin. Favorite Family Guy character. Not close. Number 3, Will Smith from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Playing Will Smith. Hilarious character. And then number 2 and number 1 are not close. They're in a different atmosphere. And that's at 2, Michael Scott. And at 1, Phil Dunphy. It's not close for me. Phil Dunphy, like Matt said, might be the best. Like, not like I think Michael Scott's funnier, but I think Phil Dunphy is the best cast character of all time.
What I'm saying.
Like he's not Ty Burrell anymore. He's just Phil Dunphy. Like, yeah, that's my 5.
I like it.
I like it. It's, you know what? It's funny that you mentioned that about Phil Dunphy, because I watched Modern Family, but I was never like super into it, and he still made my list. So that goes to show
Oh man.
his impact. But at number 5, one that has not been named yet, and it might be a shot in the dark here. I don't know if you guys will know it or not, but Thomas Shelby from the Peaky Blinders. Crazy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That show is just so fucking good, and I don't know, he was like the perfect actor for it. Number 4, as I mentioned before, Phil Dunphy. I put him up there. I had to put him on my list just out of respect, to be honest, because I understand what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
Number 3, also a Suits character. Dude, I could have gone with the entire cast almost. I didn't know who to choose.
Yeah.
So I put Mike Ross. I just love the way, like, just such a cool character in the show. So I had to roll with him. Number 2, another big shout out, Will Smith playing Will Smith in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Sure.
Another classic. And my favorite character of all time, one guy who I would say I think has the best one-liners ever, Mr. Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother. Number 1 for me.
Shout out to Marshall Erickson too. Fucking funny.
Shout out to
Who's
that
my
whole
favorite?
cast. Bro. That's
Easy
a
my
great
favorite.
show.
Yeah.
Easy my
That's a
favorite.
great show.
Yeah.
There's the list for you.
Also, shout out to Tim Riggins, honorable mention. I don't want to spoil anyone else.
Ooh.
Yeah, I didn't really know how to interpret this question, but yeah, like I see where you're coming from with like the actor playing his character, but like I don't know, his character could have been a little more like I don't know, Tim Riggins.
Oh yeah.
Definitely, yeah, he's close though. Like if it was top 10, I would put him there.
Yeah. He'd be like 8.
All right. Don't have any cartoon characters in mind, unfortunately. Yeah, shout out to Peter Griffin though. That guy's made me laugh since I was a kid.
Okay. Come on
At
the
5
show.
though, I'm almost done Breaking Bad right now. At 5, Walter White.
Yeah.
Great. show.
Crazy man, like absolutely. I think he should be higher, honestly. But
Yeah.
At number 4, someone who hasn't been mentioned. I don't know if any of you guys have watched this show, but Jackson Teller.
Oh man.
From Sons of Anarchy.
Oh yeah.
First of all, they picked Charlie Hunnam is like the perfect actor for his character. The character is sick.
That's a hot dude right there. That is a hot
Yeah,
dude.
absolutely. But just a very interesting character. He's kind of like he's a bit soft in a biker gang in California, you know. So interesting. But yeah, at 3, I have Michael Scott from The Office. A little lower than I would have liked him to be, but it is what it is. I have Phil Dunphy at 2. He's a close one for me. But at number one, and I hold this show very close to my heart for some reason. I'm not sure why. I know LBS will like this one. Harvey Specter from Suits. He's number one for me, no doubt. That like from the actor down to how the character was written. Like a lot of people are like, oh, he doesn't change throughout the show, but I think he does a lot. But he keeps
Probably
that,
the most.
yeah, but he keeps that tough edge on him. I don't know. I just really like him, so
Dude,
he's my
he's
number
just such
one.
a badass, bro.
Yeah, he's my number one.
Shit's crazy. Yeah, love it.
All right. I do like Harvey Specter a lot, but I am only on season 4 of Suits at the moment, so that is why he's not on my list. But at 5, Matt talked about it before. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. This is my favorite character in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Charles Boyle.
Oh yeah, the
Charles
best character.
Boyle kills me.
He's my favorite character in that show, but I think the best character in that show is Jake. But yeah,
Charles Boyle. At 4, I know Matt's watched this show. I don't know if you guys have. Parks and Recreation. Ron Swanson.
Fuck.
oh,
yeah,
Ron
man.
Swanson. That guy kills me.
But Aziz Ansari's character in Parks and Rec also
good.
fucking kills me.
the girl
And
too,
fucking
whatever her name
Andy
is.
Dwyer kills me.
Andy Dwyer is
The
fucking
girl who's
funny.
married to Andy Dwyer is fucking funny too.
Yeah, what's her name?
I forget.
I don't remember.
What
What a show! What a great show.
At 3, I have Barney Stinson.
Yes,
That
sir.
guy, growing up, that guy was my favorite guy in the world growing up.
Remember how fucking mind blown you were when you found out he was gay in real life?
Yeah, I was shook. I
Yeah.
was in shock.
Like, what? No way.
At 2, I also have Michael Scott. And 2 and 1 are pretty close, and they're like far above the other people.
Yeah.
But 2 and 1, I think honestly they could have been interchangeable for me. But I put Michael Scott just because my number 1, he was my favorite from like after Barney Stinson. He was like right there. Like he was my next favorite person, which is Phil Dunphy.
Fuck yeah, baby.
Phil Dunphy at 1.
Woo! Oh yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Fun fact: Phil Dunphy was my yearbook quote.
Oh yeah?
Yep. That's it.
Care to elaborate on what that was?
Yeah, seriously.
Is
It
it
was
everyone likes someone with a piece of gum.
No, it was it's life is 1% determination, 2%, 98% something, and 2% attention to detail. And if you do the math, it adds up to 101%, which doesn't make sense.
If it's 98 plus 2.
No, 1 plus 98.
1
plus-
plus 98
okay.
plus 2.
All right. I remember the quote. Yes, I remember.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, that was our top 5 characters and TV shows of all time. And now we're going to end off this show with our lock of the week in terms of betting. So last week we all went in on one again and we failed miserably. It was too bad. So this week, Cam kind of elaborated to him in his bold prediction, but our boy is playing up down in Connecticut. Take UConn to cover the 27.5 points against Fresno State. Lock that in. Yeah.
I'm with you, Maddie.
Hey.
I'm with you there. We got a 3-week in a row lock unity. I don't know who else is joining us, but 3-way lock unity. I'm down.
I hope the
Listen.
defense. I hope the defense shapes up, but I'm not ready to put that as my lock.
Listen, I just think I like the offense. The team's just eager to play, and I think they're eager to prove that they can hang with a team like Fresno, and week 1's the best time to do it. So let's see what happens, boys.
Yeah, they definitely
in.
have enough pieces on the offense to keep them within 4 touchdowns. I'm not disagreeing with you guys at all. But yeah, I don't know. I just didn't. I had that as bold because I would just started looking into it and reading stuff, and I was like, holy fuck,
Yeah.
I get beat by 50. But of course, I don't believe that, and I hope that's not the case. But I'm gonna go a different direction here this week. UCLA is returning Dorian Thompson-Robinson for his 4th year in college. Listen, he's had his struggles. Chip Kelly's had his struggles, but they're keeping a lot of guys around this year from the squad last year. I think they might truly end up being a top 25 team by the end of the year. That's going to start this week. So They're playing Hawaii, 18-point favorites. That's don't know about the 18, but the money line is a lock, so take that.
I'm riding with Cam. I'm a big DTR guy. It's year 3 under Chip Kelly. I think UCLA is finally going to get it moving in the right direction. And like Cam said, starts this weekend over Hawaii.
Let's go. Double lock unity.
Double lock unity.
So you guys got to know we're pretty confident this week.
All the boys eat.
Wow. 37 episodes later.
Here we are.
Here we are, getting ready and getting prepared for our first ever trivia night. This is just great news. Hey, if you made it here, minimize the screen, give us a like, give us a subscribe. And this cutie over here, the NBC hat and the Giant shirt, will give you a big fat kiss.